Okay, so the cold wave is here. You know that feeling, right? The temperature just plummets, and all you want to do is basically hibernate under a mountain of blankets. But what if I told you that you could turn your own body into a super efficient heater just by eating the right stuff? Well, let's dive into exactly how to do that. So be honest with me. When that freezing wind starts blowing, what's the very first thing you think of? For a lot of us, it's something warm and sweet, like a hot chocolate or a bubble tea. It feels so comforting, and it feels like the right thing to do. But is it actually warming you up? Here's a really powerful way to think about it. Relying on sugar to stay warm? It's literally like trying to heat your entire house just by burning pieces of paper. Sure, you get this big, bright flame for a second, but then, poof, it's gone. And you might actually feel even colder than you did before. That's the big idea we're going to unpack right now. Okay, let's get right into this sweet trap. Why is it that the sugary drink that feels so good at first totally fails you in the long run? Well, the bad guy in this story is something called empty calories. We're talking about refined carbs and sugars. So things like pastries, white bread, and those sweet drinks. They hit your system and send your blood sugar on a wild roller coaster. It shoots straight up and then it crashes right back down. And it's during that crash that you start to feel sluggish and, believe it or not, even colder than before. And this slide really shows it all. On one side, you've got empty calories. That's our paper flame, right? It's intense, but it vanishes in a flash. And on the other side, you've got quality fuel. Think of this like a solid piece of firewood. It gives you a steady, consistent, long-lasting heat. So the real question is, how do we get more of that steady flame? The answer, it turns out, is all about understanding how your body's own internal heat engine actually works. See, it's not just about getting calories. It's about getting the right kind of fuel to power that engine. And folks, the undisputed champion fuel for making body heat is protein. It's that simple. If sugar is like burning paper, I want you to think of protein as premium charcoal. It burns slow, it burns hot, and it keeps you warm for hours. This is the real secret to becoming your own personal furnace. Now, the science behind this is something called the thermic effect of food, or TF for short. Basically, your body has to burn energy just to digest the food you eat. And because protein is so complex, your body has to work way harder to break it down. All that extra work, well, it generates a whole lot more heat. And you can see it right here on this chart. It's not even close. The amount of heat you get from digesting protein is way, way higher than what you get from carbs or fats. So every time you eat a protein-rich meal, you're basically telling your body's internal thermostat to crank up the heat. All right, so protein is our #1 fuel source. We got it. But what else can we add to really kick our internal heating system into high gear? Let's meet 4 warming superheroes that you probably got in your kitchen right now. First up, ginger. It's amazing. The special compounds in ginger actually help your blood vessels expand, which pushes all that nice warmth out to your chilly fingers and toes. And here's a pro tip. Aged ginger, the kind you'd throw in a soup, is perfect for deep core body warmth. Fresh ginger is better for shaking off that initial chill when you first walk inside. Next on our list is cinnamon. You ever wonder why people in those freezing cold Nordic countries are so into their cinnamon buns? It's not just because they're delicious. Cinnamon is incredible for promoting circulation. So if you're not a big fan of that spicy kick from ginger, a little cinnamon in your oatmeal or coffee is an absolutely fantastic alternative. Our next 2 superheroes work as a team. We're talking about garlic and onion. Not only do they make pretty much everything taste better, but they're also huge boosters for your immune system. And that's so important, because cold weather often brings nasty viruses along with it. So these guys keep you warm and they help keep you healthy. It's a win-win. And finally, for anyone who likes things a little spicy, chili peppers. The capsaicin inside them directly stimulates your nervous system, telling it to generate heat. It can even make you sweat. Now, just a quick word of warning. If you're outside in the cold wind, that sweat can actually make you colder as it evaporates. So maybe save this super spicy stuff for when you're cozy indoors. So now that we know who our friends are, it's time to talk about the enemies. Let's unmask 3 common warming traitors that trick you into thinking they're helping, but are actually stealing your precious body heat. And at the very top of the list is alcohol. You know that warm, flushed feeling you get from a shot of brandy? It's a complete illusion. All alcohol does is it pushes your core body heat out to the surface of your skin, where it escapes really, really fast into the cold air. This is exactly why it's so incredibly dangerous to fall asleep outside after drinking in the winter. The other traitors are a little more straightforward. Icy cold drinks are a no-brainer. Your body has to waste energy just to warm them up. But here's a surprising one. Super greasy meals can also be a problem. Even if the dish is hot, a ton of fat can actually slow down your digestion, which makes it harder for your body's furnace to run at full power.
Okay, we've gone through the heroes and the villains. So how do we actually put all of this into practice? Let's just walk through what a perfect day of heat-generating eating might look like.
So, what does this actually look like on a plate? Well, you could kick off your day with some hot oatmeal with nuts and cinnamon for that sustained energy. For lunch, something like a beef noodle soup gives you that massive protein hit you need to stay warm all afternoon. And then for dinner, a hot pot with lean meats and lots of veggies is just perfect. It's all about combining these simple, warming ideas into delicious meals.
And hey, for all of you stuck in a freezing office, here are 3 quick survival tips. 1. Keep a thermos with a homemade tea with some ginger, dates, and goji berries. 2. If you need to sweeten things, go for black sugar, which has more minerals. And 3, probably the most important one, get up and move. Seriously, just walking around for a couple of minutes every hour is one of the best ways to generate your own heat.
This is such a great question. You've eaten a huge meal, maybe a big plate of white rice, and you feel stuffed, but you also feel cold. How does that happen? Well, it's that blood sugar roller coaster coming back to haunt you. A meal loaded with simple, refined carbs will always give you that spike and that inevitable crash. The fix is easy. Switch to complex carbs, like brown rice or sweet potatoes, which release their energy nice and slow.
So, as we wrap things up here, I just want to leave you with this one final thought. Your body is the only house you will ever truly own, and the food you eat is its electricity. So when it gets cold outside, don't just reach for any old fuel. Give your house the highest quality, premium fuel you can find. It'll thank you for it.